the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. Coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports brings us to Southern California and Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Minnesota Vikings and our home team. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
As of this morning, summer officially over. It's time for autumn football, and we're underway on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. At their own 27-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. 16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for L.A.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On 1st and 10, here's Murray. It's Hill, complete. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the second down.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Mills. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
On is the Chargers punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
On 1st and 10, McLaughlin. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. 2nd and 5. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 2 plays, 2 catches. You have a feeling they're going to look for him early and often, and that's to be expected. You got a player of his caliber, why not?
And I think it's also a message from them to the defense that you're not going to dictate to us what we're going to do with one of our better players, because So often you hear about defenses saying, we're going to take away what you do best. In this case, they're going to move them around, find proper matchups, and make sure they continue to funnel the ball to him.
From the gun, McLaughlin.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
25 yards that time. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sidelines thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Finally an incompletion. He was 5 of 5 before that last throw to start this game.
So he is human. All right, so we found out after the way he began, okay, he can have an incompletion here or there, but I love what they've done right from the word go. They just need to pay it off with a touchdown. Now, certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And this one is right through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. To throw on third down. Murray, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. On 1st down, they look downfield, and it's complete. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings! In for the score. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain it.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
On 2nd and 9, Murray nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
You better talk to your boy. You better talk to your boy.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive,
there he goes left side. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Watch it.
But no, but hold on a minute.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. To throw, it's Murray. And he will find his man on the outside. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down.
Come on here, come get some. Come get some. Come on here, come get some.
And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
And fights through one man.
I think I like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Murray. He's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34.
You see me?
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
Those really long field goals, when they are made, they are things of beauty. But there is a danger to getting them started, isn't there?
Yeah, with that low drive, you've got to really keep it low to the ground, don't you, to get that distance.
Yeah, hard to just pop it up in the air because otherwise it's not going to get there. So he's got to drive it low in order to have the distance, and that usually puts it in jeopardy, gives him a chance to block it, and everyone knows it on the other side. That's when you get your best jumpers on the other side of the field and try and get up and get it. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. You know, projections for him were a little all over the board. Some saw him as a day 3 pick, maybe a little bit higher, but here he is, round 3.
I do know teams that had him listed as a...
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. What a first half this has been offensively. I mean, defensively, what do you do when you're getting torched like this?
No, these receivers are absolutely wearing them out. So 2 thoughts come to mind. 1, get some oxygen. You fill up your lungs a little bit. And number 2, talk to your guys up front. You need a pass rush to help slow them down.
Back to throw. And it'll be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked.
Nice pick, nice pick.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on 1st down is Murray. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off at the 38. There he goes, right side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number one. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go four verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. This one taken just inside the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So here are the Vikings to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start the third quarter here on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Hey, Sam off.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 12 yards there, first down Vikings.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll run, it's Sanders. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 17 yards, first down Vikings.
Go now. 10-2 start.
17 yards. First down Vikings.
They'll run on first down. Boyce. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
59. You must be getting tired of seeing me. Check 59. Mike is 59. Mike is 59. That's you.
2nd and 9 now. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A 12-yard touchdown grab as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner.
Touchdown, Minnesota. The kicker on for the point after.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. No problem there on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
From the 30 on second down, Murray. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
A good kick, 49 yards, just 3 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? Who? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The roads will be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
Here we go. Set. 60 yards. I got you, boy. I got you, boy. Rock it. Ready.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Let's go deep, tight. Let's go deep, tight.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Back to throw. McLaughlin, nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Hey, Foxtrot. 57's the mic. Rock 57. Hey, fire.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And it's going to be batted down and will go the other way with the football. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. Here's Murray. Throw left side complete. It's Black. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. To throw is Murray. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame him for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame him one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
2 yards, good enough for a first. What a boost for this offense that he can throw in a run like that after the success that he's had throwing the football.
I love that, being able to mix in something a little bit different just when you're starting to think that's all you're going to see. He changed it up, flipped the script on him, and boy, did it work to his offense's benefit.
They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's second down now. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And now he'll tuck it and run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
All right, I don't want to get too poetic here where we talk about, the eyes being the windows of the soul. You know what else the eyes do? They see the open spaces on a field, and those eyes carry your legs to those spots, and that's what happened on that play. He saw an opening and went and got it.
Well, he really hasn't ran the ball all game. Fourth quarter here, need a big play, able to pick it up. So whatever the eyes saw and created, it worked.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Operating from the gun. McLaughlin, quick hitter here, it's complete. And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way, it worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
218, chopper. Ready?
On first down, Boyce. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Now it's looking incredibly likely to be a 3-0 start to this season. That is obviously excellent. 2-0 is one thing. 3-0, you really have some momentum.
And now they're serving notice to the rest of the league that they're a pretty darn good football team. Confident, aggressive, attacking at all times. This looks like a team that you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? Behind closed doors, they're trying to figure out ways to get better.
So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Murray now. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now this one complete on the slant route. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first. Murray now on first down. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision.
And the pressure gets to him again.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. On is the Chargers punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point, as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Throwing left side, it's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Now the Vikings will use... the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. From the gun, McLaughlin. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Throwing again, McLaughlin. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. Looking to throw, McLaughlin. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Point after, right down the middle, and the lead will swell by one more. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Vikings, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the home team here, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.